Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher Daniels, and this is your 5-Minute Ministry Monday, your weekly dose of irreverent spiritual humor where I take a topic and then deliver a sermon about said topic in 5 minutes or less. Now, for this week, in honor of the 21st anniversary of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I thought I would talk about energetic vampires, how to recognize them, how to deal with them, and how to remove them from your personal space, in a sermon I like to call Bite Me. Which is the terrible name for a sermon, but I struggle sometimes with coming up with witty titles for things. The only other one that I could come up with was, I'm sorry, I only drink the blood of Christ, and I couldn't tell which one was better and which one was worse. So I'm going to let you decide whatever resonates with you. I've got 5 minutes on the clock. Oh, look, I've already hit start. Here we go. Godspeed. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was obsessed with it growing up. I wanted to be her. I bought all the merchandise, all the paraphernalia. I wore her silver cross to middle school thinking it would make me cool. I also wallpapered my locker with pictures of Sarah Michelle Gellar, hoping to mask my blatant and obvious homosexuality. I wanted to be her when I grew up, and who didn't? One girl in all the world, the chosen one with the strength and skill to fight the vampires. She had that hunky, brooding, sexy vampire boyfriend that everybody was in love with. She had the eclectic group of funny, quasi-magical friends, and she was able to make satirical commentary while fighting the forces of darkness. She was my spirit animal. I loved her. I wanted to be her. And as I was thinking about this sermon, I realized that in some weird, obscure way, I kind of became her. We're all God's chosen people, so hashtag chosen one. And I love my tribe, and they are funny and quasi-magical. And I do make satirical commentary when I'm doing my own shadow work. So basically, hashtag I am Buffy. Now, when I said energetic vampire, I know somebody popped into your head. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It's okay if it did. And interestingly enough, it might have been yourself that popped into your own mind, because I think we're all capable of being energetic vampires at times, but we all probably have one person, or dang, a whole cadre of life-sucking individuals that drain you of your energy, so much so that if you spend enough time with them, you will experience such symptoms as dizziness, nausea, headaches, body aches, an intense desire for a nap, and irritable grumpiness. Day ruiners, people. Of course, my coach would tell me at this point that no one can ruin your day except for yourself. Yes, that is true. I allow other people to ruin my day with their actions and their soul-sucking behaviors. I recognize that, but sometimes the Lord done test my patience. So how can you recognize that you are dealing with a member of the spiritual, energetic undead? Well, here are some surefire signs and symptoms. And let's be clear, energetic vampires are not bad people. They're well-meaning, and they might not intend to do it. They might be unconscious of these behaviors. They just feel empty and afraid, and they are looking for others to fill them up. But we're going to talk about why that is a futile endeavor. So, back to the signs and symptoms that you are dealing with the undead. First of all, melodrama to the extreme. Queen, I did not buy a ticket to your show, so get off the stage. Narcissism, they are always talking about themselves, and they never really ask you about your day, and they are complaining and whining all the time. They're never really satisfied with anything, and they are up in everybody's business, gossiping all the time, and then they have a slew of insecurities that they need constant reassurance and acceptance about, and no matter how many times you tell them, it's never enough, because they are like a pail that has holes in the bottom and it's constantly dripping out no matter how many times you fill it, and it's exhausting and it's futile, which brings up an interesting point that you are not responsible for another person's happiness. You're not. We are all beings striving to be unconditionally loving, so you may care about another person's happiness, but you are ultimately not responsible. So how do we deal with energetic vampires? Because it might be in our best interest to let them go, and it might be in our best interest to let them go as well. So how do we deal with that? Well, first of all, you give from the overflow of your well, you do not give from the reserves. So if you're tired, if you're hungry, if you are empty yourself, get filled before you can even think about filling someone else, because then you might just feel resentment if you're like, oh, they took so much of my time, my energy, my whatever. No, we give our time to people. People don't take our time. Secondly, be clear about your boundaries and draw them in the sand. So if someone's like, hey, I need to talk to you about my dog for the 80th time this week, you go, that's great. That's a really important conversation. Would love to talk about it. However, I need to meditate, nap, sleep, eat, whatever for the next 30 minutes. May I call you back? Stick firm to your boundaries. Be clear. Do not compromise. Find common ground. Often energetic vampires will utilize guilt in order to serpentine their way past your defenses. So you need to be firm and grounded and rooted that you might need to leave the conversation, when you might need to leave the social gathering, or you might need to leave the relationship in general. Whew! That was a lot. Energetic vampires. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Please stay tuned for every single Monday for a brand new episode. You can like my YouTube channel. I put all the episodes on there. Tell your friends, share it. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you all coming up to me on the street or sending me a text or a message saying how much you look forward to these videos. I can't tell you how much I look forward to doing them. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, and God bless.